and welcome to a very exciting episode of DC Daily because at long last we're going to talk about Stargirl.
Oh yeah!
I'm joined once again by two Sams, Sam Humphries and Sam Levine. Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up, y'all? I'm psyched because Stargirl is finally here.
Yeah, I too am psyched because Stargirl is here. I feel like it's been worth the wait. We've been stuck at home, we've been craving new content, and man oh man, this was worth it.
We are going to get right into it. It finally premiered yesterday, so if you haven't watched it yet, go do that right now because you know we're going to spoil everything because we are too excited.
Everything. Mm-hmm.
Go!
That's how we do it here at DC Daily.
Y'all, Stargirl, episode 1. I'm just going to get out there that this was so much fun to watch. From the very beginning of this episode, we have full-out JSA versus Injustice Society action. They are not pulling any punches. They are not pointing off screen and going, imagine the superheroes. They're over there. It's here. It's happening. I think it's glorious. What do we think?
It was a massive 1-2 punch right off the bat. They're not just throwing you into the plot of the show, but right into the action. This is a battle that could be the climax of any episode or of any season of superhero television, and they put it right up front. It was amazing for me, a longtime JSA fan, to see all these Justice Society of America characters, not just in live action on television, but in action. And then they had to break my heart in two by killing all of them, it seems like.
No, I agree. It seems like they're all gone. I can't possibly believe that they would get the great Joel McHale for that one wonderful scene, and then we'd never see him again. So I am holding out hope that we'll definitely get him back for some more scenes. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That opening battle scene was epic. That was great. That was a solid introduction to what I hope Stargirl will turn out to be. I was marveling at the look of the sequence and how expensive, quite frankly, that looked.
Yeah.
That looked like it. I could have seen that in any multiplex, but I was
Absolutely.
watching it on my screen at home, and I was so impressed, and I loved the battle, and I loved those characters. I know Solomon Grundy was in there at the end. I was anxious to see their take on Grundy, and they did not disappoint.
Oh, it's so
Episode
good.
1, and we're getting Grundy. It's like right out the gate with this stuff. And even the people who weren't in that battle, but like who we see in that photograph later, I spotted both Hawks, both Hawk people.
Dr. Fate was in there. Could we get a live action Dr. Fate? Yes, please. I'm into it. Wait, Sam, are you drinking out of a special cozy
Star Spangled?
for Stargirl?
You know me, I'm all about the cozies. I just happened to pick this one up today. I didn't realize how fitting it would be.
That is so on brand. I love it.
The real Starman, Sam Levine.
Thank you.
All right, so we have the setup that it is 10 years after the climactic, scary, sad events that open the episode. And little Courtney, who we saw wishing her dad was going to show up, is mostly grown up, and they are moving to Nebraska. New school, new friends, new situation, new weirdnesses abounding, and some family tensions at home in that she needs to work on her relationship with her stepdad. I'll say I especially love this because that emotional core comes straight from her original stories from, of course, the 1999 Stars and Stripes series. And y'all, Luke Wilson's like really good.
Luke Wilson, always really good.
Yeah, no, I thought he was terrific. And casting all around. Breck Bessinger, she was great.
So good.
She was so
good.
She might
good.
actually be Courtney Whitmore.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Amy, I'm with you with the stepdad plot line. I come from a blended family. I love great step-parents. I got so much love in my heart for them. So I can't wait to see how this plays out. And Luke Wilson is so good as that earnest stepdad who's just trying so hard but can't quite figure out how to do it yet. I'm here for that story. I'm also super here for the way they'd handled that staff, right? So it looked so good. The effects looked so great. I love the design of it, but I also loved how it has a personality. And she was like, "Are you alive?" and there's like a back and forth between them, right? Like, is it alive or is it artificial intelligence? Like, we don't really know what's going on here yet, but I love that it's kind of like a sassy Green Lantern ring for her.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, you know what else I loved? The wonderful Easter egg that was the moving truck. Action Movers with a pretty recognizable Action logo.
I could recognize that logo from 3 football fields away. It is so seared into my brain.
That's a long distance.
It is. It's far. It's 3 football fields. That's how long it is.
And
Yeah.
I guess we're in Nebraska now, in a small town, so football fields might be like the relevant unit of measure. I don't know. So you have to educate me on that
That
stuff.
is how in the Midwest you measure distance.
That's right.
It's like an eighth of a football field.
The heart basket of America, they call it.
Yeah. I'm originally from New York, but around here it's like 10 football fields away. You're gonna want to turn left on the Route 9. It's fine.
The cosmic staff, it looks amazing. And I did like the little detail also that Courtney's gymnastics skills combined with the staff make for a really, really fun visual style. Like, it'd be tough to do, I think, on a comic book page, but in live action, like her flipping around it and using it as bars and all this stuff makes for some really cool action possibilities.
It's like a next level interpretation of how to use a superpowered staff in live action, and it's very true to the character, and it just makes her in this whole show like so unique compared to what we've seen before. I love it.
And that combined with how great the effects look, especially the staff effects, combining that with Breck's actual real-life gymnastics abilities. Again, well done, casting department. She is perfect. That is setting the stage, I think, for a lot of really fun sequences.
So we're getting into some of that right now because we both have I'm gonna say very satisfying confrontation with some jerk bullies, and then we have the big villain at the end, who I'm guessing spells a whole lot of trouble for us. What did we think of that fight, the first one and the second one, the villains and the danger in this world?
Originally, we've got the villains at the big battle at the top of the show, and then we've got the more modern day villains, high school bullies that needed to be dealt with.
Boo! They should be taken down a peg.
Gotta teach them some learning.
It's real satisfying, y'all.
And then, of course, there was a modern day actual battle with Brainwave at that tire shop.
Yeah, the Blue Valley Tire Factory.
I love that it's not just Brainwave, but Brainwave and his son. Because as we all know, all of us hero and villains have mommy or daddy issues. So I feel like we're not just getting a new, it's not just going from Starman to Stargirl, but it might be Brainwave and Brainwave Jr., Brainwave, Kid Brainwave, Bully Brainwave, I don't know. But I'm excited to see how that dynamic plays out.
And we know that there's frequently stuff with the JSA and with superheroes, and that something DC really specializes in is the question of legacy and generations and those conflicts and the way things get handed down. So I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of that, but I'm very excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, we said it many, many times on the show. Legacy is the beating heart of DC, whether it's in comics or movies or video games or television. And the JSA is the foundation of legacy in the DC universe because that's where you get the initial appearances of Hawkman and Hawkwoman and the initial Green Lantern and the initial Flash and so on and so forth. And of course, Jeff Johns wrote this and he worked on this show. He, more than anybody else, believes in legacy of the DC universe. So it is great. It is such a great foundation for this show.
So what do we think of the world building so far?
I think the world building off the bat was great, showing us what the JSA is like when it is functioning, even though it was losing that battle, but what I would like to think kind of a typical fight for them looked like. So I know right off the bat it's going to be crazy fun, crazy high energy, crazy high stakes. I think the town that they've set up, I want to know more about this town. There's a lot more going on in this town than I think meets the eye. I mean, the fact that there's so many villains who have kind of set up camp there. There's a reason that Pat wanted to go back there, whether he knows it or not. So, yeah, I'm very interested to see what comes of, this surface town.
Yeah, it just can't be a coincidence that he moves to the town where all the big bad guys are that defeated him and all of his friends 10 years ago. Like, you just don't, bump into people that way anymore. I also, like, speaking of Pat and his secrets, we got to see Stripe at the end of this episode. Wasn't that incredible? A giant robot mecha piloted by stepdad Luke Wilson. I'm so here for it.
I'm just gonna keep repeating, like, this show is going there. They're like, oh, we're not gonna be like, there's a giant robot, you can't see him, but he's over there. We're putting a giant robot on screen because there needs to be a giant robot in here. It makes me so happy.
It's such a cool hat tip to nerds, because if you're not familiar with this limited series from the 90s, you might look at that robot and be like, oh no. Like,
Good point.
Pat's a bad guy. Like, this is going to be threatening. I don't know what's going to happen next. But if you are in the know, you kind of have figured out, like, oh, Pat's going to get in on the action. Pat is going to kick some butt with that robot suit.
I'm always down for a robot suit. I have one in the next room. I would wear it, but the problem is the frame's just not... I can't really get it big. You'll just have to take my word for it. It's right there.
See?
I'm looking at it.
Really? Well, I don't know
Yeah,
if
it's
I can...
right there.
I can't quite... Where is it?
Yeah. Hey, did you guys see my Stars and Stripes cozy?
Oh, look at that cozy! Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, cool cozy,
That's
Sam.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
The cozy is a clue that the giant robot is just off screen, and now I see how
Thank
it all
you.
ties together.
There you go. You picked up what I'm putting down.
I am very curious, as the series goes forward, even more than most comic adaptation material or comic-inspired material, I'm really interested to see how it functions for a lot of different audiences. Because here on DC Universe, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, my favorite JSA members! But hopefully, tons of people are going to discover this show who don't already know how these stories go, and it has to kind of work for both audiences. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I am excited. I am basically one of those people you're describing. I have broad strokes knowledge of Justice Society of America, of Stars and Stripes. I know broad things. I've never done any crazy deep dives. So if you guys want to put together a reading list for me, that would certainly be appreciated. But moreover, I'm just excited to meet new characters, learn about new worlds, new backstory, new powers. This is a very exciting time for me, relatively a newbie to this particular story.
If you ask me and Amy Dallin for a reading list, prepare to receive 36 single-spaced pages, because this is what we love to do.
Oh boy, that reading list will be published by me on Twitter. It will take me 3,800 tweets to cover everything, but check that out. If they're giving me a list, I will certainly be happy to share it with you.
But it's going to be great whether you have or haven't done those deep dives, and whether or not you have, like I do, a deep love for vintage Golden Age weirdness. I have a lot of hope that we are going to get a lot of celebrations of some of those stranger bits of history, because they are not shying away from anything based on that opening. They are loving and basking in that DC history. We know that this is all happening now on a version of Earth 2, which makes my heart so happy, because that, of course, is the classic pre-crisis home of the JSA. It's a whole thing. You've seen DC Daily. You know all this stuff, but I could talk about it literally forever, so stay tuned for that. Any final thoughts on Stargirl?
One, like, just little visual cue. I love when she's looking at the old photos of the JSA. They gave it, like, an Alex Ross sheen to it. Alex Ross, the comic artist and cover artist with a famous painterly style. He did an incredible run of JSA covers when Jeff Johns and Dale Eaglesham were doing the book. I just love that little, like, visual aesthetic callback to those incredible JSA portraits he did.
Yes, I think you're definitely right. That clicks with what I was like. This definitely evokes something, but definitely Alex Rossi. So if I would love to hear people tweeted us your favorite Easter eggs and things. I don't want to spoil the show for everybody, but I do want to hear which things people are excited about, because they're clearly planting all kinds of seeds.
My final thought was I thoroughly enjoyed this pilot episode, and especially the reveal of Stripe at the end. Bring on episode 2. Please do not keep me in suspense. Daddy needs his fix.
Yeah.
This show is so good, and I can't wait to see what's in store. You can catch new episodes of Stargirl every Monday on DC Universe. Plus, a very special heads up for y'all. On DC Universe right now, there is a Stars and Stripe book club going on where you can read Stargirl's original solo story with fellow fans. They are covering issues 5 through 9 this week, but you can jump in at any time, all month long, and it's all on DC Universe. So cool!
Book club!
Book club!
Book club, tally ho!
Book club! Tally ho!
Honestly thrilled about that. So we have to go get some reading done, and we will see you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.